Okay, let's do a little refrigerator tour. So I've got some country crock. I got about a quarter of that left. Our hummingbird food, I got this half and half from Organic Valley, half off because of the date. Some orange juice left for hubby for work week, half a gallon of milk from Walmart, left for cereal and other things. Some pre-made up yogurts for my husband, a little bit of lettuce, Kitty's food, some Braunschweiger left for Friday's lunch, some butter for baking, about 20 eggs, 6 cups of my Noosa yogurt, 1 cup of that lime yogurt from Aldi, and then the meat, or I got some grands. I don't know if anybody else is into this type of stuff, but I picked them up now and I'll make them now. So pumpkin spice rolls, those are always good. Supposed to be like Cinnabon, but I've never noticed that. They're just regular old rolls that have pumpkin dress or pumpkin icing frosting. Got 2 of those. One for I've tried freezing, it doesn't work. So 1 for now and 1 for hopefully it lasts for a couple of weeks for company. And then I took out the meat for this weekend, so you'll see that in some cooking clips here. I've got some sausage that we're going to have red cabbage or sauerkraut or both with, some pork chops, whatever's left over from the red cabbage or sauerkraut's going with the pork chops, and then a chicken. Hopefully the temperatures stay. Today wasn't in the 70s, but we're looking for a good day at least by Sunday or Monday, and I've got a chicken to roast. So, and then down on the bottom crisper, I have some carrots left. I bought them red potatoes here not too long ago, a couple of baking potatoes, 3 potatoes I bought in the last little shop haul I showed you with the food in the cart, a lemon, some tomatoes, and a red cabbage. And of course the door is the way it always is. I've got some avocado mash I need to get eaten. My pickles, pickled beets, condiments. We're missing our mustard and ketchup because we need to get new ones put in the fridge. There's my rosemary still in my container, still looking good. It hasn't turned brown, black, gray, none of that. A couple of cans of Coca-Cola for hubby and some water for hubby's work, and that is about it for our refrigerator tour. Okay, this is what I picked up at Farm to Laura's. So we got some green beans. I got a pound of green beans for $3. A large bunch of chard, which is the first time this year, for $3. It's probably a pound. Roma tomatoes, fresh off the vine. This was 2.5 pounds for $3.50. A summer squash, $2, and a large zucchini, $2. So the green beans will be 3 meals. My husband's the only one that eats them. The chard will be 2 meals. 1 we'll have with eggs. I'm not sure what we'll use the other part for. Zucchini and the summer squash will give us 4 servings of ratatouille. And the tomatoes, we'll probably use a couple in the ratatouille. And then the other, 6 will last me probably close to 2 weeks. So I got that for the vegetables. Then I went out in her herb garden and picked 5 pieces of rosemary. I have rosemary on the porch, but this variety was really, really pretty. So what you would get, probably maybe a little bit more than what you would get if you bought one of those packets at Walmart. And I think those, I priced them today, were $4.29, I think. And I got this for $2. Some bouquets that I made, so brown, and then this color sunflower. It's all the ones my husband picked out. He loved them. These are my favorite, so love the big yellow sunflowers. One of those. So lots of sunflowers. There's a couple in the top there. Go through the grocery stuff that I bought at the grocery store. So the butternut large was $2.24. Got a few of these. These were $1.97 farmhouse pumpkin, Fresh Orchard apple. And these were $2.97 maybe. Vanilla buttercream. I have a warmer, never use it. Peaches, let's see what those were per pound. Peaches were 3 at 97 cents a pound. $2.91 were the peaches. Bananas, the organic, were 52 cents a pound. The non-organic were 50 cents a pound. This rosemary, we used to buy rosemary like long French bread. They haven't made that for years, but this is a bowl with rosemary in it. That was $3.74. We'll probably have that with the 3 meals I'm cooking this weekend. I asked for 8 chicken with rice. I got 1 French onion. So this will be enough soup with what I've got in my pantry to last me until November 1st. Cabbage was 85 cents a pound. This was $2.11. We had some Mission wraps, and we ended up checking the date and stuff like that. Mission wraps were recalled. I don't know the story on them. My husband heard it yesterday, but he did write down the number, and sure enough, the ones that we had bought here a week or two ago were included. So if you bought Mission in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I would just put into Google Mission taco wraps or whatever, or Mission wraps, and see what the recall was. I've been looking at recalls on cats, and so I didn't go in cat food, and I didn't go and look for that one, sorry. The Libby's pumpkin, I wanted to make some pumpkin bars here before the season begins in a couple of months. So this was from a pickup order, so was the soup. So the soup was $1.96. It just was $1.92 last week. The pumpkin puree was $2.24. That was also in the pickup. The Hidden Valley Ranch was $2.86, also in a pickup. French's mustard. The tortillas were $2.73. The mustard was $1.54. I also picked up these Bush's beans, so you wouldn't have saw those in the cart either. Those had gone up in price, so now I have until the end of the year. I have those. Those were $1.52, and now they're $1.65 at our Walmart. And so then I bought 2 cartons of Fairlife. Those are already in the refrigerator. Fairlife milk for $4.78 a piece. I bought some puff pastry to try to see if I can use those to make my husband some scones. He all of a sudden is crazy for those on Sunday morning. So the puff pastry was $3.87 for a large sheet of puff pastry. I don't think 1 box of cereal for him, which was $4.88, and then a bunch of kitty food, and that was still in the Dells at 96 cents. So we were very fortunate to get that at 96 versus the 107. So just kind of a little, in case you didn't watch my last video, prices did go up like within not even 7 days on my Campbell's soup. So it went from $1.92 to $1.96. Bush's baked beans from $1.52 to $1.65, and they say that's because of an aluminum shortage, and with that Strait of Hormuz, there's a lot of different ingredients or materials that make the cans or make the stuff in the cans that comes through that specific shipping lane. That also affected and has been affecting cat food. 3 main things Purina told me over the phone. The first one is the price of aluminum or steel or anything like that they would put their cat food in, or the cat food you buy in, has gone up in price because of tariffs, and they do pass that off to the consumers to some degree. Secondly, some ingredients, 2 main ingredients, are being hard to find, hard to source, both here in America and other places, and that is chicken and beef for whatever part of it goes into cat food that we buy, that is Fancy Feast. And thirdly, during the pandemic, the adoption of or the ownership of pets quadrupled. So there are more cats and more dogs in households, so there's a larger demand. The fourth one they did say was, if I've ever noticed, that it usually is the main food at shelters, and they are correct. I do a lot of donating of food that our cat doesn't want, to the specific flavor or just is not in the mood for. He's run through 3 or 4 different flavors of Fancy Feast, and he only eats pate. if he just gets tired of it, we don't want to waste it before Jack came along, and that it would be upsetting to waste a can of cat food and that. But he didn't like it, and so we weren't going to force it. Then what we started doing is just donating it to the local shelter, and they always had case upon case upon case of Fancy Feast. So those would be the 4 reasons that food continues to go up and the shelves continue to go bare as far as that goes. So I wanted to get at least until the end of the year for the Bush's baked beans, because I don't want to pay any more hikes in that until at least the first part of winter, and then I start making homemade soup at the end of October, so I won't need any more chicken with rice, at least not to the degree I have it now. So yeah, bread for sandwiches for the week, bananas for the weekend, some peaches. I usually start eating a lot of peaches at this time, both in spring and at this time. I'm going to be making some pumpkin bars soon. I'll have that in a video. Cabbage for my husband's weekly lunch. We are going to be having some tacos on Tuesday. And then the last bouquet of flowers is here. A yellow zinnia and an orange one and a white one. And I never can remember Cosmos, and this is one of the Cosmos, and I can't remember what this one is. I just saw it too in a video. So these 3 vases of flowers, and that was $10. Sorry, Kitty's cat food sitting there. I'm trying to feed him. It's 1:33 in the morning when I'm finishing this up. So 3 arrangements of flowers, that was $15, and the groceries came to, with the cat food that you don't see sitting here, the milk you don't see sitting here, 2 of my yogurt not here, came to $92.98. And Monday is kind of always a low-key day, whether it's work or whatever. We've always just made Monday a day to figure out what we want to eat, whether it's leftovers or something super easy like soup and sandwich. So tonight it's wrapped, so I have lettuce, tomato, chicken, some mozzarella cheese. I don't like mine grated. A couple of pickles, tomato. I'll give you a clip of the tomatoes that I bought in case I didn't add it in a recent video.